Hello, Namibia, and welcome to your daily lunchtime show where we get to catch up on current events and headlines as you know, always. I am your host, Priska Anyolo, and thank you so much for joining us today on NMH at 1. So in today's show, we bring you footage of Okahandja's Great Wall, as well as an update on the construction of a COVID-19 facility at the Nkurenkuru in the Kavango West Region. Also, do stay tuned for an election message from the Namibia Institute of Democracy, also known as NID, and a car guard explains how tough life is in the Erongo Region. If you want to win a holiday discount voucher worth $1,000 Namibian, answer the tourism-related question that is displaying on your screen right now and or on your cell phone or on computer as well. Remember, you can win a voucher on NMH at 1 during every single show until the 6th of November. Let us move on to our COVID-19 news for now. In your COVID-19 monitor for today, we look at tests done for the first 7 days of September. According to the data available on the Ministry of Health and Social Services online hub, only 3,047 tests were done during this period. The map shows what percentage of these tests were done in Namibia's 14 regions. Windhoek, the current epicenter of the pandemic, represents 58% of all new tests, followed by Erongo Region with 22% of tests logged over this week-long period. More tests were also processed for Hardap, which is 5% of the total, Okahandja 4%, as well as Okahandja, which is and Kavango East and Karas, all coming in with 2% of the total. This clearly shows that testing remains limited outside identified hotspots. Let's go for a quick ad break, and I'll be right back with our video inserts for today. As I've already hinted at earlier before, Okahandja has a great wall, and it is a hot topic in this town north of Windhoek. Oketo Craig explains what the hype is all about.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to NMH at 1. My name is Okahandja Craig. I write for Republican and I work for Namibia Media Holdings. Today I'm in Okahandja and I'm standing here. As you can see behind me is what the locals call the Great Wall of Okahandja, which is being built right now. The construction is continuing. As you can see behind me is informal settlements in Okahandja, and part of the reason why this wall is being built, which is already more than 3 kilometers long, and this section will stretch more than 7 kilometers, although there will probably be more sections, is because the roads authority, which is the client, wants to build a highway here in this area behind me, and there has been some land grabbing here in Okahandja. So to stop the growth of the informal settlement, this wall is being built. According to Helene Philemon of the Roads Authority, the wall will cost more than $15 million Namibian to complete, but she says that the budget for it is coming out of the pre-existing allotment for a fence which was to be built anyway. They decided to go for the wall because of the threat of the spreading informal settlements and the fact that people can be a danger to themselves and motorists if they don't respect the boundaries of the road reserve. She hasn't yet shared information about when the wall will be completed, but some informal inquiries indicate that this will only be one section of the wall, and on the other side of the planned highway there will be another similar wall built as well.
And now we move on to the second video clip of today. The construction of a 12-bed isolation facility for COVID-19 patients has started at Nkurenkuru. The unit is expected to be completed within 30 days. Kenya Kambowe of the Namibian Sun interviewed Salomo Tenga, who is the spokesperson for the Kavango West Regional Council. On scene.
Salomo, can you just tell us what's happening here?
Okay, we are at the PHC Center in Nkurenkuru, Kavango West. What is currently happening now is an ongoing project that took off last week.
Yes.
The site handover took place last week, whereby this came about after a number of pleas to the line ministry, that is the health ministry, with a request of having a prefabricated isolation unit. That is now after attempts of having failed to get the already PHC center, which has been incomplete for the past 7 years, to be completed so it can be used as an isolation facility in the region.
Yes.
So what is currently happening now is that after a number of pleas, the response from the ministry was quite effective. That's why we are seeing that the prefabricated isolation facility is being constructed, is being set up. It's most likely to take it's gonna last for, the expectation is that they will be done by in the next 30 days. That is the given period that was given. So what is currently happening is that it has been going on since last week. It is really the pace at which the development is taking place is really very fast. Earlier in the morning I was here, it was not this level already, but now that just after 5 I'm coming back, they are really pushing forward.
Okay, and how will this benefit the region?
It's quite important to note that we do not have an isolation facility in the region ever since the outbreak of COVID-19, and it has been a challenge because all confirmed positive cases in Kavango West Region are transferred to Rundu, where they are isolated, and this kind of gives a burden on the health or response team in the region, because they are not really equipped to mitigate the impact of COVID-19 in the region. So with this, when it's completed, we most likely to say that whatever confirmed case in the region will be isolated in our region. We don't need to transfer positive people that have tested positive cases to another region, which is the nearest Rundu Kavango East region.
Okay, thank you very much for your time.
Sure, thanks.
And now for the million-dollar question. Why are November's regional council and local authority elections so important? Panduleni Ngipandulwa of the Namibia Institute for Democracy explains. This footage was contributed by Steffi Balsa of the Allgemeine Zeitung.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Panduleni Ngipandulwa, and I work for Namibia Institute for Democracy. Namibia Institute for Democracy is a non-profit organization that conducts various projects. Part of our mandate includes conducting civic education to make sure that the population understands their role, rights and responsibilities as citizens, and also voter education to make the electorate understand the importance of voting, how you can vote, where you can vote, and how you can participate in elections basically. So this year in 2020 we have regional council and local authority elections coming up. So what people need to understand is that government has 3 levels. There's the national level, which consists of the National Assembly, the President and the Cabinet. Then we find the regional and local levels, which consists of the regional councils, the municipalities, the village councils and also the town councils. So the purpose of the regional and local authorities is to bring government closer to the people. So we'll be voting for people that are supposed to provide services in our various communities. So there's a lot of hype usually around the National Assembly and the presidential elections, but people don't realize that these elections that we have this year are just as important. So currently, from the 7th to the 15th of September, we have the registration, voters registration. So if you haven't been registered as a voter yet, you have an opportunity to visit your nearest registration point within your constituency to register to participate in these elections. Please note that you need to visit a registration post that's within your constituency. So if you live in Katutura East, you need to register in Katutura East. If you live in the Windhoek West constituency, that's where you get registered. And also on top of that, that's where you have to vote. So please note that if you are registered for the national and presidential elections, it doesn't necessarily mean that you can vote or participate in these elections. Have a look at your voter's card. On your voter's card, under local authority, it should indicate the constituency in which you live. If it does not indicate the constituency, or in other words, if it says not applicable, it means that you are not registered to participate in these elections. So please have a look at your card and visit your nearest registration points to register for these upcoming elections. And remember, these elections are very important because you are voting for leaders that are going to bring change within your community. So if we're talking about access to service land, if we're talking about water, electricity, if we're talking about development, recreational centers, these are the people that you need to vote into power to represent your interests. So don't hesitate to visit our website at www.nid.org.na to get more information on elections. That's all from me. Thank you very much.
Needless to say, everyone has been hit hard by COVID-19. Irvin Lauschner spoke to Johannes Matthias, who is a car guard in Swakopmund, and this insert is in Afrikaans.
Goedemiddag Matthias.
Yes meneer, hoe gaan dit?
Goed en self.
Ik kan niet klaar.
Sê maar, as Kagat hier in Swakop,
Ja?
hoe doen julle in hierdie krisis?
Nee, hierdie lockdown af. Kom ik zeg maar, na 5 maanden terug nog 6 maanden. Ons is in die probleem, joh.
Hoe bedoel jy in die probleem?
Nee, daar is niet meer customer. En die mensen wat ons eet, is ons voor ons helpen, ja. Zoals kom ik zeg bij Erongo, ik zeg dank je voor je. Behalve mensen ook mensen, en hier in Namibia mensen wat ik ga draaien ons beetje helpen, tot daar en daar maar. Nou, alles is nog moeilijk. En let ook, nou, die mensen zelf ook niet. En let ook niet meer geld niet.
Ja.
Nou, maar ons kan niet nou zeggen, die dorpen ons weggaan niet. Ons is nog zo, maar ons kan niet meer mensen voorst niet. Ons kan net gaan aan. Maar ons zijn net dankbaar voor die mensen wat nog een beetje helpen, ja. Maar ons is in die probleem, ja. Dus
maar kom jullie achter dat jullie baie minder geld het?
Ja, nee, die tijd was vooruit geweest. Ja, voor is andere mensen van Okahandja, Windhoek en zo en een paar toeristen die tijd. Maar nu, ons het net huismensen, maar ons kan niet zijn niet meer. Zoals nou, daar is niks niet. Maar het is voor jullie lockdown. Wat er nou opgemaakt, Windhoek is weer lockdown. Maar ons nou, ons kruiswoord is op de Swakop, ja.
Nee, ik verstaan. Baie dankie Matthias.
Oké, dank u meneer.
And that is it for our video inserts for today. Let us go for a quick ad break and I'll be right back with the front pages of our daily newspapers today. Like almost all the dailies, the Namibian Sun leads with yesterday's report by the Financial Intelligence Center of the Bank of Namibia about transactions flagged and investigated as part of the notorious fish rot scandal. Republican reports that Windhoek's only crematorium has been out of service since Friday, and it will take at least a week before any new cremations can take place in the city. Algemeine Zeitung leads with a decline in new COVID-19 cases reported by health authorities. The Namibian reports on discussions within SWAPO to rebuild trust in the governing party by not allowing members with criminal records or dubious intentions to abuse party and country. New Era on its front page carries news on the diamond industry, which also faced major challenges due to the global corona pandemic. Let us go for another quick ad break, and I'll be right back with the inside pages of today's newspapers.
Ain't nothing but a party going on in here.
And as usual, here is a peek at some of the news from the inside pages of today's newspapers. MarketWatch delves deeper into the annual report of the Financial Intelligence Center, with the value of actual blocked illicit transaction having decreased sharply. The Namibian Sun shares a success story in apprehending poachers between Erongo and Ocho. While Republican reports on Nankuse's court challenge against environment officials who want to impound and even euthanize hundreds of animals cared for by the well-known conservation entity. According to Allgemeine Zeitung, the German owners of the Okahandja cement plant continues to hunt for new investors to take over their shares after the Competition Commission recently blocked a planned merger with a Chinese multinational player. The Namibian reports on continued demands by lawyers representing the fish rot accused that their clients should be freed. According to New Era, business people in the north are also coming out in favor of the lifting of COVID-19 measures that are impeding economic recovery. And on that note, we here at NMH at 1 hope you have a thunderous Thursday. Do stay safe. I've been your host, Priska Agnolo, and hopefully I get to see you at the same time, same place tomorrow as well. Do stay tuned for a snapshot of the weather as well. Goodbye.